what's up? It's Avery and welcome back to POV. Today we are here with another episode focusing all on the power of respect. Respect for ourselves, respect for our peers, respect towards us, respect from adults. You name it, we gonna be talking about it. So make sure you sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to the power of our voices.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of POV, and today we will be talking all about respect. Now this may be a heavy episode and we're going to get into some really good points, but before that, I would love all of the lovely people I'm sitting with today to introduce themselves. So, you go first.
Hi, I'm Liam. I'm a junior and I'm 16.
Yo, I'm Xavier. I'm 15 and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Lana. I'm 16 and I'm a sophomore.
Okay. So today we are going to be talking, like I said, all about respect. And I feel like it can be kind of a broad topic of a lot of things. So first I want to know what do you guys define respect as?
I would say that I think respect is kind of like an earned care, but it's very it's reciprocated. And I think that's what it needs to continue. Like for you to have respect for other people or have respect for yourself, it needs to be returned, I feel like, or at least in theory, that's what it would be.
Yeah, I think like in a general sense, respect is just about like caring about what somebody's saying and valuing what they're saying and what they're doing for you, and not just like treating it as something that should be ignored.
Oh yeah, I really agree with that one.
Like active listening, like how that goes.
Yeah.
I agree with that because I feel like when you respect somebody, you actually take the time to care about what they're saying. If someone is saying something to you, like you'll actually acknowledge it. If it's like them telling you to do something or asking about something, like you'll take it into consideration. If you respect that person, you'll actually like have a sense of seriousness or urgency to actually pay attention to what they're saying, if that makes sense. If you actually like genuinely respect them. But I know we're talking about respect for other people, but would you guys say like, and I feel like this can be kind of broad too, would you say like you respect yourself in a sense? Like, that's kind of a deep one.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I respect myself, and then sometimes I think I kind of let other people get more of the respect that maybe I should deserve. Like, I don't value myself the way I value others, and so it sort of feels like I'm not giving myself what I really need.
Oh my God, I understand that because I feel like for me sometimes I feel like I'll give my all into like a lot of other people, but then not pour into myself. I don't know if that's because I like would identify like as like a people pleaser in a sense, but I feel like sometimes I'll be thinking about other people and not really thinking too much about myself. So I get what you're saying with that. What about you?
I feel like I definitely feel like as a woman, like as a girl, like growing up and like the pressure to be nice or like come off as kind, and then also as a Black girl, like combating the whole angry Black woman stereotype and all that different stuff. It's like a hard space to operate in between, and I'm someone, like I said, that's kind of manifests itself in like being like a people pleaser type of thing, like you were saying too, and like sometimes sacrificing a part of your identity or your opinion to make other people feel comfortable because like the pressure to like want to be liked and all that. And so like I think again, like you were saying, like I have like self-respect, but also like it's almost like, am I doing it for my own comfortability or for other people's comfortability, trying to please others? And, you know, like even growing up, it's like things with like adults and like people in your life where it's like you want to, you know, get that respect from them because it's like seniority is a thing. Yeah. It almost feels like someone who's like had more time here, is like their approval kind of sometimes feels like it means more in my personal opinion. And what I've observed too is like a lot of people have a thing where it's like respect is a given for someone who's a little older than them than like your peers, I guess.
So you mean for like a sense like, and I guess I'm just trying to make sure like I understand clearly what you're saying. So I know you talked about the seniority thing about like, like respecting your elders, of course, but when like pleasing other people, you mean like in almost in like a validation kind of sense?
Yeah, like in the sense of like sometimes it's like obviously everyone likes compliments and things like that. So it is like a more affirmation from other people's like words or their opinions, especially people that you know don't necessarily like, again, like owe you anything, for example. Like I just feel like the expectation is different for like someone who's older. They don't really owe us, it's like any type of respect or they feel that way. And I think that sometimes it's like a pressure to get adult approval, and also getting adult approval kind of means other things because adults are in a lot of the power positions in society. There's not really always like youth perspectives, and that's obviously like for a reason because they're matured, but I mean like youth perspective is like not like the same thing. It's not the same approval in like a literal sense and like a figurative sense. So I feel like getting approval from adults is like, it is validating in my opinion, or like people that are older than you because they have, I don't know, a level of esteem and like my personal opinion that maybe our peers don't have.
But I kind of want to go into though, like, do you feel that respect is something that's earned or given because of who you are?
But with like teachers, teachers can be rude, especially if they're like older, because then they're from a time point and period where it's just like, you're young, listen to me, do this now. So it's just like I can take that for whatever short amount of time, do my work, rather than have an argument, get a write-up referral, have to talk to the principal, have to talk to my mama, and then go home, try to do this homework for this class, and come back and act like it never happened, or I'm gonna have to deal with it again.
That's true. That's true.
I'll say like from like my personal definition of respect, like and a lot of other people's, like it's not even just like outward, it's like also inward too. Like there's a lot of people like that you wouldn't even admit like you don't really have respect for, and you can be like kind to them or like even like tolerate them, but like sometimes respect is like an internal thing too, and it will come out in certain ways. But I definitely agree with what you're saying about like just like for your own personal like feelings, and it goes into like all of us were saying, like, is it your own comfort or is it making them more comfortable? Because ultimately, if they are being biased, they're going unchecked. But it's because, like, but is that good or bad? Like, is that the way to do things? Because ultimately, then again, like, also seniority does come with its privileges. Because also, like, a lot of times I've noticed this even at my school, like, older teachers can get away with a lot. And they'll just be like, because they're from a different time, like, they can say the most offensive things. And I feel like a lot of times it just gets excused, but like where's the line between like ignorance and like just like being unknowing? And I think that's an example of like when young people, when they say it's like, I feel like I come to you with an earned respect, but you can get that taken away.
Yeah, I get a lot what you're saying, Xavier. Especially, we don't really get the chance to let people earn our respect. We kind of just are forced to give it to them. With like teachers and with parents, you don't have a chance for them to show you that they should be respected. You just have to, because if you don't, then things happen to you, right? When you're a kid, if you don't listen to your parents, right, you get in trouble. If you don't listen to your teachers, you get suspended. So it's not really an equal opportunity for you to really give them the respect that you really want to, because you just have to.
And so I guess that just goes back for me with like, I'm a believer that energy is reciprocated. Like I'm telling you, if I will start off with respect for you, but the second that respect is gone and you disrespect me, sometimes the stuff that you're saying is gonna go in one ear and out the other. I'm not gonna be mean about it. I'm not gonna be rude about it. But sometimes you just have to meet people where they're at, and sometimes you have to actually be selfish to show yourself self-respect. You have to put yourself first, and if that means setting this person to the side for now, then I'm going to set you to the side to show my self-respect, because I have to work on that. I deserve that, I feel like. So
Yeah, I understand self-respect, and but you did say disrespect. I have a question, like, when do you guys think disrespect is okay? Not like disrespect, like somebody you don't know. Like if you wish your friend, you're cool. Where is that line for you? Like, I know I call little bro right here little bro, but I don't hate little bro.
I mean, I feel like it also depends on how well you know a person. I guess that's for me personally. I'm like, if I have known you for like 2 days and we aren't really cool like that, there's not stuff that I will I'll be like okay with you like teasing me about, like somebody I've known for a year or someone I've known 4 years. So I guess it's just that difference in time.
Yeah, disrespect, I think, is okay when boundaries are crossed. And I think, especially if you make your boundaries clear, because I feel like I was just saying this, like, fool me one time, like, shame on, like, me. I mean, shame on you. Sorry. Fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame. I can't get fooled again. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you make your boundaries clear, or if you don't, and then you make them clear and they get crossed again, then it's like, now I should have been removed myself, because it's like you're deliberately doing it now. And I feel like that's when disrespect is valid. And I feel like that's the time most people get disrespectful, because obviously there's clear boundaries that you shouldn't cross. Like, you shouldn't touch people you don't know, like all these different things. But then there's also like more subtle things. But I think that's the reason most people receive disrespect. Then other boundaries are less clear and the lines are like more blurry. And I think a lot of times people are very sensitive. And you can see stuff like on the internet where it's like people have unwarranted reactions to things, like the whole like Karen videos or like fight videos you see like on the internet and all that. And it's just like, why would they do that? Why would they react that way? Some people's like triggers and boundaries are so like blurry and like that you'll never be able to understand. And I think like to bring that back to respect, I just feel like people's definition of it is so like different everywhere you go. But I feel like disrespect is very simple in the fact that it's just like when my boundaries are crossed. But the thing that makes that hard is like, what is your boundaries? What is a boundary? And not everyone can communicate that very well.
I guess for me, and like you said, that there are some boundaries that are unclear. And kind of going back to Xavier, what Xavier said, like what really is our definition of disrespect? How do we set boundaries for ourselves that other people can't cross that they may not really know? Like, how do you do that with somebody that you have no clue who they are, you know? Because I guess everyone's boundaries are different. So I guess when determining whether or not when disrespect is okay, if you feel someone disrespected you, cool. But also then again, that opposing side, people may not know that they disrespected you, because if they don't know you, they don't know what your boundaries are, and they may be testing them, which isn't. I guess it's just all a very, very blurred line. I guess so. I see what you're saying with that, but I guess I have to think about that opposing side too. So.
I know me personally, I could think people can be like a little too sensitive because like there's some stuff you just don't bring up to nobody. Mm-hmm. Even if like you're really tight. Like, you can make jokes about family or like past trauma experiences, but still there's a line.
I feel like even like the phrase like too comfortable, get too comfortable, like I feel like sometimes people misuse that term, but like genuinely some people like get too comfortable like too fast, and it can almost be like a resentment thing. Like you'll notice some people like who are quick to just be mean, and then they'll be like, oh, it's just a joke, oh, it's just a joke. Like,
I feel like some people use that as a something to hide behind if they realize that they disrespected somebody, but also at the same time was like, you can never really tell if that's their intention.
But like people who are so quick like that, you like cannot have self-respect. Like you cannot like have confidence or like love in yourself if you feel the need to like take up your pent up whatever you have going on and take it out on other people who, especially you don't even know, like they don't even deserve that, like to carry the brunt of your trauma and your ignorance. It's just annoying. And I feel like a lot of people, I feel like that's a very normalized, like, I don't know, like trauma response for a lot of people to take out like their insecurities and jokes. Like, I feel like everyone like knows like a friend, like people who are friends that just like are so mean to each other, or like there's just one like just passive aggressive people. Like, I don't know, it's interesting, but it really goes into the fact that just it manifests itself in so many different ways. And like people's lack of self-respect or the amount of self-respect they have for themselves is weighed differently with like each person.
Yeah, I think it's always, you have to come into things with an open mind, especially when you're meeting new people, because you can't just walk up to somebody and like, here are my boundaries, here are my lines, don't cross this, because that's awkward. That's not how life really works. And so you have to like have that first conversation, and if somebody steps on your toes, you got to let them know. But for a lot of people, we're so used to just getting pushed down and saying nothing because you can't really talk back. Like if you're talking to like a parent or an adult, you're not really supposed to tell them if they've upset you. You kind of just have to keep that to yourself. And so when that happens in a casual setting, you just push that back and you ignore it. And that's just like a problem a lot of people have.
It is a problem a lot of people have. And do you guys ever feel like, especially, I'll say specifically when it comes down to adults, I mean, with someone that's your age, like if you all of a sudden disrespect me, I'm gonna let you know. I'm probably gonna say something like, hey, that's not cool, chill out, like in a nice way. But with an adult, with someone who's technically older than you, do you feel comfortable telling them that like, oh, you disrespected me? Like I guess I've had a hard time doing that. Like if I feel like it's not cool, like if it's a teacher, like I may like send an email to you in administration, but like going like face to face, letting an adult know that you feel like they disrespected you, like how would you go about that?
I feel like it's your bond with people, no matter if it's an adult or somebody your age. Like personally, I know we bonded just being chill in the same area.
Yeah.
So that was cool for us. So eventually just to have our radical conversations. And then I feel like with adults, you kind of can't become as cool with them or have that bonding experience. So there is that line where it's just like, you basically just called me a bum. I'm a chill.
Right. Like kind of figuring out how to do that and how to kind of go about that situation when it comes down to adults. Like, I guess how to let people know that you disrespected them while still trying to stay respectful. I feel like that's something I struggle with.
Yeah. And it's like what do I even really want from you? Like, what is respect from you in terms of like what I want given back to me? Because it's like what you given is what you want back. And then also like other people have different ways of like showing their love and showing their respect. So you can't expect the exact same thing all the time. But like for me, I feel like the only thing that I want is like respecting boundaries. And then also like, again, like there are a lot of people, and I feel like me myself too, I feel like there's ways to get to know people without like breaking boundaries. Because again, I feel like a lot of them are pretty obvious. Like, don't touch people you don't know. Don't like get on super sensitive like subjects, at least like when you first meet people. And then obviously sometimes there'll be times, and even again, people might not feel comfortable telling you you've crossed a boundary in those first like couple days of meeting. But obviously, like as you build a relationship more, like you were saying, it starts to get more clear, like, and you can have those conversations.
Yeah.
But I think like in terms of me personally, I feel like the way that I want to be respected is just to be intentional, like listen and take that into account. And I think that when people don't listen to you, that's the only times that boundaries get crossed for like the second time. Like it's not an accident. Like if you really truly listened and you've been intentional with your relationships with other people, then you can't cross people's boundaries. Like,
yeah, and I want to bring it to something that you said, which is being like intentional with your relationships with people. I know we've talked about respect for yourself and respect with elders, but I also want to talk about like when thinking about like respect within like relationships, like let's think about self-respect that like, oh, someone who you may like want to be like your partner in the future may have for themselves. Like how would you say is something that like, oh, guys will look at like for girls self-respect, or like girls will look at for like guys self-respect? Like I feel like that's something that I look at when you're like thinking about like, oh, someone you'd like maybe like see yourself with. Like I feel like if you don't have respect for yourself, like how can you have respect for someone else in general that you genuinely really care about? I feel like that's something that I look at, but I feel like it's also kind of the blurred line too for someone you're trying to get to know.
You trying to get me and Liam caught up, dude.
No, it's not just for you and Liam, like it's for like me and Lana too. Like I'm like, I feel a certain way about like, oh, if I see like a guy just out like talk like not just boasting about themselves, but then like boasting about themselves with like other girls, like that just shows like what type of respect do you have for yourself and what kind of respect do you have for other people. I'm not trying to be with you like that.
yeah.
Something I personally value a lot is somebody who really cares about themselves, because for a lot of people, when they get in a relationship, they just want somebody like be their babysitter. And that's something that I don't find attractive at all. Like, I don't want to be running around trying to make sure you're okay because you can't take care of yourself. Like, you have to be able to hold yourself and then also like allow me to help you as well.
That part.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He gets it.
And I would say like one thing about like guys that I've noticed a lot is like their friends. Like if you let your friends push you over, roll you over, or like make jokes about you, like your mom, like your weight, all this different stuff, and just like let it go like unchecked. And it's like they're like, it's just a joke, but it's like,
No.
bro, you're on the verge of tears, like,
Like, you're
it's just a
laughing.
joke. So it's like for me, it's like you don't respect yourself enough to distance yourself from those people. And I just feel it's like stuff you'll tell me you're insecure about, or stuff you'll tell me hurts you, and then your friends will literally make jokes about it, or like make jokes about like really sensitive events that have happened to you, and like the whole like you don't have a dad like jokes and stuff like that. Like
What?
why are you telling me that you're like so upset over this, and then your friends are joking about it? Like I feel like that's so strange, and I feel like I wouldn't want to be with someone who can't like stand on that and can't like stand on, because if I were to say something like that, it would be a problem.
Like it would be up.
Yeah,
Like,
it would be a problem.
It would be over with.
But it's just like I just cannot be around people like that who just can't like let go of a friendship. Like, because there are like same way there's a million fish in the sea for relationships, it applies to friendships the same way.
Absolutely. I stand on that heavy.
I understand that, but I feel like sometimes it's just a bond with the bros that you have that you might not have with your girl.
But you also have to think about that though. That bond that you have with your bros, like you won't let them disrespect your girl.
Disrespecting girls is something crazy.
That's
different.
what I mean,
That's a
though.
whole different topic.
That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying,
like the dad or the weight jokes. You know, if I've known bro for like 4 years,
Then
we on the
that's
game,
different.
we in the locker room.
Yeah, that's
just
different. Like that's like that. I feel like also like I know where like some people like know where to cross the line, but if you have a super close relationship with somebody, at that point, like your jokes, like if you insult them a little bit and you guys have a close relationship, you know it's not really an insult.
I mean, I'm talking about like the extreme version of that. I was using the dad thing as like a PG example, but like I think we all know what I'm talking about, and I feel like even like anyone else, like that's always kind of been like, and I'm sure you guys can agree, like a thing with guys, like their jokes low-key usually be like really hard hitting. But then again, like I was talking about the passive aggressive things, like in female friendships, we like passive aggressive thing is usually really real. Like that happens a lot. Like the whole like self-hating friend, like that really projects it onto you. That happens a lot too. So I won't say our friendships don't get toxic.
Yeah, girls, it's okay. For guys, I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it's always coming from a place. Because it's like, I do it to you, you do it to me. But sometimes girls be just nasty for no reason.
That's
true. Right? And it's like, you're nasty one day and then cool the next day. And it's so hard to understand. Because with y'all, it's like a circle. Like, it's not really like friend to friend. It's kind of like circle group to circle group. So with one group of people, you're one way. And then with another group of people, you're a different way. And I know for guys and girls, we always got to wear faces. But I feel especially for guys, like we tend to be the same with all of our friends. Whereas with girls, you're a lot different depending on who you're around.
I see exactly what you're saying about that. Like that's not even something like I can defend to be like, oh, girls are like no, because like there's a lot of people that are, and I feel like that's something that I even had to transition out of. Like I'm gonna be 100 with every single one of my friends, and like if you're not cool with that, you're not cool with that, because I respect myself enough to stand on who I am. But lots of the time, it's like you need to kind of like figure out like, oh, you're with so-and-so, so there's certain things you can say around so-and-so that maybe would say differently around so-and-so. And lots of girls, like Lana said, the self-projecting thing. Yeah. If there are girls who like have like maybe aren't confident within themselves, which I gotta say like that's also like a you thing that you have to figure out independently. Your friend can't figure that out for you, but they will project that onto another person almost as like a backhanded, nasty insult. And that's not a friend really. And I feel like that has to go to also you as a person. If you have respect for yourself, like you need to know like sometimes it may be okay to take a step back from that friendship. And that leads me to something else that I kind of want to ask for you guys. Like what are ways that you would work on to show yourself self-respect so you can make sure that you stand heavy on all of those things that you care about? And once again, like maybe being a little bit selfish for your self-respect. Like how would you show that?
I was gonna say that was very attentive of you, the girls thing, but I think again that's kind of rooted in the fact like wanting to be liked by the most amount of people. And I think a lot of people assume that a lot of girls like want to be liked by guys mostly, but I think a lot of girls go out of their way to be friends with other girls,
to be
like
friends
out
with
of
other
their
girls.
way.
Like validation.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it gets to a point, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier too. I feel like people are searching so heavy for validation from other people that they aren't searching for validation from themselves. Like Liam was saying earlier, that sometimes like you are showing so much respect to other people and doing so much for other people that you're forgetting to be there for yourself. Those are things that you have to make sure you do before you go out searching for all of these other friendships. Like you need to focus on self-respect. And I feel like that's something that I'm trying to work on, of having more self-respect for myself. And I feel like it's something like everybody should try to work on, because then it can make your relationships better. Friendships, literal relationships, relationships with peers, relationships with elders, all of those different things, to just make them all that respect reciprocal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I think it's really hard to do, because to take time for yourself and like give yourself respect, you got to take that from somewhere. And from a lot of people, that usually comes from your friends. It's like you kind of have to cut back on your relationship time, on your friend time, because you want to care about yourself and you want to show yourself love. And some people don't really understand that. Like they'll take it as, oh, you don't like me anymore, you don't want to be around me, when it's just like, I just want to be with myself so I can, like improve myself.
That part. I feel like it's something people need to not, like, almost in a sense normalize. Like it's okay to not be on FaceTime all hours of the day with somebody if it means that like you can like spend time with yourself. Like you don't gotta be texting them all the time. If it means that like, hey, I just need to take a step back, like it's okay to be with yourself for a small amount of time. You don't always gotta be with somebody. You don't always have to be with somebody.
Yeah, I feel that because I know I stayed a little quiet for the last couple of topics because I felt like they're more like heavily girl influenced. Like personally, I feel like guy relationships like and friendships can be more genuine sometimes because like that lack of passive aggressiveness is just full face. We on Call of Duty. Some go come out for it. And then like that self-respect thing, I feel like after a while, I know most guys can relate to it. It's just like you start to just be okay with stuff. You just start to not care. Not that you have a lack of self-respect for yourself, but it's just like cool. And then you could be cool with another person because y'all both are chilling out versus somebody who's needy for that validation. If you're with a chill person, it's kind of just like, oh, my eyes pretty. How am I doing? Do you think I'm a people pleaser? Do you think I'm too much for you?
Yeah.
Versus just like
you just in the moment. Like you just gotta be in the moment.
But I would say, like, for me, like, steps to self-respect, I think everything is, like, to celebrate the tiny wins. And I think, again, like, we were just saying, like, toxic friendships, I feel like it's only detrimental to yourself. Like, and they're not trying to hurt themselves. And so I think, again, it's, like, kind of, like, a mental thing. Like, it's a mental journey. And I feel like something like that, you had to take the little wins. Like, maybe taking a break from that person for a little bit. Like, someone who's historically talked to you every day and you talk to them all the time. Like, maybe taking a break from them for, like, 5 minutes. Like, for some people, that is a big feat. Like, just celebrating the little wins and finding little ways to get closer to, your self-respect. Or, like, even if you feel like you've let someone cross your boundaries a million times and you feel like, I'm tired of doing this, I'm tired of just asserting them one more time, even if you're not ready to cut that off or you feel like there's still hope in it, I feel like that is something you should celebrate. Because I don't feel like, even like those type of situations, like I wouldn't judge anyone those, like even though I said I wouldn't prefer to be in a relationship with someone who allows that, I still wouldn't judge them because again, that's your friendship. And again, most of the time, those people like are cool with each other. Like they're never like don't know each other usually. So it's not, I'm like implying that that's like a bad thing, just something I necessarily don't want to like hear about my partner. But yeah, I wouldn't judge anyone specifically for not really like taking their self-respect, like, but taking those steps is something you should celebrate. And I feel like celebrating the little things is really important, and you don't let anyone tell you like that's not a big deal. It's you decide what's a big deal for you.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And I feel like once again that just goes back to everyone deserves to have self-respect for themselves. And the more self-respect that you have for yourself, I feel like the more that you'll be able to have respect in other relationships. And I feel like that honestly pretty much sums up our conversation that we had today about respect. I want to thank all of you for listening to our point of view on this topic, and hopefully you learned a thing or two about self-respect, were able to gain something from our opinions on respect for others, and hopefully everybody got something from this. So thank you so much for listening to The Power of Our Voices, and enjoy, and thanks for watching. Bye!
Thank you all so much for watching this episode of POV. I hope that you all were able to take something great from this conversation, because I know that I did. And I really am looking forward to hearing you all's thoughts on this conversation. So please make sure to let us know. And thank you for listening to The Power of Our Voices from our point of view. Have a good day.
This would be nice bloopers though.
This is so unreal.
they have not been applying this to me.